Good day there, once again viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, coming to you guys with some more World of Warships content, and today my friends, it brings me great pleasure to bring you some gameplay in the Moskva, the tier 10 Russian cruiser. Now of course, a lot of you guys who watch my stream will know that I've been grinding for this ship for the better part of about 3 to 4 weeks now, and yeah, I finally treated myself to this bad boy in my port over the past couple of days, and it's safe to say I'm having a lot of fun with this ship, as you're going to see in today's video. But first guys, let's talk about the map, the game, and what I am running as far as my loadout is concerned on this ship. We are playing on the Sleeping Giants map in the Domination game mode, as you can probably tell by the layout of the capture points on the map. It is a majority of a tier 10 match. There's a couple of poor bastards who got stuck as a tier 8 in this tier 10 game, but for the most part it was a majority tier 10 game. Again, not many poor bastards stuck in the tier 8 category. As far as my upgrades are concerned, I'm running main armament mod 1, damage control systems mod 1, aiming systems mod 1, damage control system mod 2, and at this point I realized that I should probably have steering gears mod 2 on board instead, but, you know, learning experiences, I guess you could say. We're also running concealment systems mod 1 and gunfire control system mod 2 to increase the range of our guns ever so slightly. On most cruisers I wouldn't argue going for this skill, mainly because, you know, it tends to heighten their gun arc quite a lot, therefore making ships harder to hit. But with the Russian cruisers we all know that their gun arcs and their velocities are incredibly competitive, so with this upgrade I figured it kind of helps out the Moskva with its battle cruiser-like role, and it definitely does. It was a good choice in this regard. As far as captain skills are concerned, I'm running Priority Target, Expert Marksman, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Demo Expert, and Concealment Expert. So, to give you guys an introduction to the Moskva, I'm sure it needs no introduction, but to give you guys an introduction on the Moskva, simply put, are you a cruiser captain and sick of having battleships overmatch your bow armor and send you to the bottom of the sea in one salvo? Yeah, enter the Moskva. This thing, as far as heavy cruisers go, is possibly the heaviest of cruisers in the game, with possibly one of the more punishing artillery armaments out there. We are talking about 220mm guns with stupid velocities and flat gun arcs, as you can see here, that make for punishing battleships, and in fact punishing anything in the game absolutely just the true focus of this ship. Thanks to the high-end velocity, the penetration power on these guns is ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous. I'm running no IFHE here, and I am easily penetrating a Groza Kurfürst with that turtleback armor at 17 kilometers with HE, as I said before, and still scoring a fire on board as well. But to make matters even worse, they reload in 10 seconds. And just in case, you know, you thought, oh, well, if they've got great penetrating power, then surely their HE can't be that great. No. If you spec this ship correctly, which is the spec that I'm running here, you can get a 21% fire chance on on this ship. So, yeah, if you're versing a battleship that's bowing onto you, no problem. Just burn them to death. That's how this ship works. So, there really isn't a whole lot of weaknesses as far as their firepower concerned. A lot of people argue that Russian bias is a thing in this game when they look at the Moskva, and quite frankly, I don't blame them, because this thing will either citadel you to high hell, or it will simply burn you to death. As you can see on this Groza Kurfürst, just from mainly fires alone, we're already up to about 20k damage, and the game's only been live for about 4 minutes, and we've spent about 2 minutes of that engaging targets. So, yeah, this is a pretty disgusting ship, all things considered. And once again, the best part about this ship is that she features that battlecruiser mentality with her bow armor. All you've got to do is point the bow armor on this ship towards something, such as this Groza Kurfürst, and they're not going to be able to penetrate you. Nada. Unless they go for the superstructure, but of course that's not going to deal much citadeling damage. So you're pretty much immune to citadels if you simply point your bow armor at whatever is the greatest threat in the game to you. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. The Moskva is essentially a cruiser that is just a big fat bully on the battlefield. A ship that just points a nose in and starts breaking the will and spirit of anything that's big. And, you know, its big and thick-skinned nose is going to essentially say, hey, you're a battleship, but you can't pen me. Sucks to be you, pal. And you're going to see a lot of that in this video, and I mean a lot of that. Again, this Grozaka first not even bothering with engaging me, even though I'm dealing some of the most amount of damage to him with the ongoing fire. And of course I'm reloading to AP now because he's offering me a nice clean cut on his superstructure there, but of course the Yamato just beats me to it and uses those brutal 460mm guns to kill off the target. Now, it's time to face our next threat, our next challenge, if you will. We know that there is, in fact, a destroyer up ahead with the smoke, and it could have very well been the Akazuki that laid down that smoke, but I'm not taking any chances, so I'm going to pop my hydroacoustic here. And the hydro on this ship is an absolute godsend, because at the end of the day, she doesn't turn very well. She may have the speed of a cruiser, but she's definitely got the turning circle of a battleship. So with that in mind, having that Hydra on there really does help you out with spotting enemy torpedoes. It certainly saved my bacon a couple of times. But one really key thing about this ship is always ensuring that you have that Hydra on board to counteract any of the potential torpedoes that could be coming your way. You could mount defensive fire instead on the ship, but quite frankly, I think Hydra is a much more useful skill to have on a ship like this that doesn't have the greatest of turning circles. And just quickly, how about this Missouri? One fire on board and puts it out straight away. Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of players in the game right now that have just sort of been buying premium ships and going straight into high-tier games with them without having any sort of prior knowledge of the game. I mean, this guy is sitting dead still in open water, broadside mostly to our fleet. I mean, he's effectively broadsiding a Yamato. Who does that? Like, if he wants a one-way ticket straight back to the death screen, then, I mean, sure, I'm happy to provide. Free experience, I guess, but again, he wasn't exactly thinking this out right. Now, going to try and get a couple more HE hits on this Missouri, score a fire or two more, but this Minotaur has also ventured a little bit too far forward for his own good, and he's giving me a relatively respective angle here, so it's time to get the AP out and put this ship's penetrating power to good use. And as you can see, the Sigma and dispersion on the ship is aces. She has got some awesome accuracy. So again, just the artillery on this ship is tensfold fantastic. Can really score some devastating blows on enemy ships here. And again, I don't really know what this Minotaur is doing. He's not exactly doing a good job angling. I don't know how my shell bounced off his armor then. I really have no idea. But we're going to score 1 Citadel and 5 overpens on him. Again, that weak Minotaur armor, just allowing for those easy overpens. But yeah, again, Homeboy not doing a good job angling for us. We score an additional 2 Citadels, absolutely cripple him. Down to 3k health. He's got a fire on board as well. And with that, we're going to send one final volley from our rear gun to score the 512 damage required to put him down to the bottom of the sea. But of course, this ship also comes with the classic long-range Russian radar, and there's an Akazuki sitting here, not really giving me a good time. So we're just going to go ahead, radar this guy, and light his ass up like no tomorrow, scoring a nice healthy 3k salvo straight off the bat, incapacitating his engine. Again, just showing off the true power of this HE shell. 2 fires on board, not a problem for the Moskva. He's not scoring much penetrating power on me, only a whole bunch of fire damage. We're going to pop our repair party and, you know, catch another fire, but it's not the end of the world here. Unfortunately, our radar does go out of commission here before we're able to take out the Akazuki, but it's not the end of the world. He is now on the run, he's got a fire on board, and I don't think he plans on coming back anytime soon. Now, old mate Missouri has re-emerged once again, looking a little bit worse for wear than what we left him in last time, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and bully him some more, because that's how we do. Another fire on board. And it doesn't look like either A, poor bastard's learned his lesson about not putting out fires straight away, or B, he does not have a repair, he does not have a damage control party on board, good to go. And there he goes, looks like he just learned his lesson, pop that damage control. And I figured, you know what, he's gonna have that thing active for a bit now. We're gonna load some AP and see what damage we can do. And look, we do not have the cleanest broadside on this Missouri here, but it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna sort of, you know, start hitting his superstructure and scoring some admirable damage here. That's the best part about this ship, just being able to score reliable damage. The artillery is just great for constantly hitting a target and, you know, being able to score some significant damage. Again, the 10-second reload on this ship means that if you miss a salvo, it's not the end of the world here. And I feel as though this ship can sort of score damage more reliably than a battleship at this distance. And again, poor old Missouri here, I know I'm not detected at the moment, but poor old Missouri here, if he took a shot at me right now, he would not be able to score he might be able to score the same amount of damage as me that I'm scoring on him over a 30-second time frame, but he's not going to score any more than what I'm doing now because of that ridiculous bow armor that I've got. And just to give you guys an example, Missouri's decided to take a shot at me now. I mean, for one, he's not a really good shot. But again, that was only about, I think, 4k. We've scored more damage to him over, like, about 3 times more damage to him over that 1 minute to 30-second time frame here. That just means that we are stupidly winning this engagement. Now, he's actually starting to learn a little bit, angling a little bit more here, and fire chance is not on my side here, so we're going to try and get that third gun on target while we are still stealthed. And all the while, I'm getting a little bit concerned about where this Akazuki's run off to. Benson here would not have line of sight of him if he was behind that island or behind either of those small islands. So we're going to pop the radar now, just prematurely, just to keep an eye out for him. And unfortunately, no joy on him. So he's obviously pulled a complete and total runner. Not really keen on the situation at all. So as a result, we're just going to keep on bullying this Missouri. Thankfully not detected at the moment, so we can position our third gun up nice and quickly here. Get it ready for for the best value for money we can get out of this salvo, if you will. But because, considering we're now detected and he's putting a salvo out towards us, we're just going to bow straight back in again as soon as we can. Again, having the concealment mod on here allows for you to sort of, you know, break concealment, control the engagement a bit more fluently, and when you finally get detected again, just point your bow into the thing that's going to be the highest of threats to you, and then game over, GG. And I've also found that with this ship, the best thing to do to avoid incoming fire is not to change your direction, because again, the steering on this ship is not exactly responsive at its best. So the best thing you can sort of do is just change speed consistently. And again, just demolishing that Otago there, getting that crucial citadel on there, and allowing our Grozavoy to come in and wipe him clean off the map. So, it's back to situation normal with bullying this Missouri. He thinks he's clear. Well, he's clear for now, because, you know, lost detection. But we're going to do our best to rectify that as soon as possible. Spotted him out. Again, going to use all 3 guns, because he has got no detection on us at the moment. And we're actually going to go away with a free pass here due to all the island concealment that we're getting our hands on at the moment. So, not that bad. Scoring a respectable 3k salvo. Now, again, it's only 3ks, and with an artillery like this, you'd expect more. But again, I've only got a 10-second reload to deal with, so I can just keep firing off more shells. And with Adrenaline Rush, that reload is now down to 9.6, and it's going to keep going down and down and down as time goes on. So, the Adrenaline Rush perk tends to definitely improve how this ship can spit out damage the more she becomes injured. Now, of course, you don't want to become injured in this thing. You don't want to go offering up broadsides to just make the most of Adrenaline Rush. But, you know, you can still get the best value for money. And again, just using that HE, no fire damage, still landing a 5k salvo. Even with the HE and no IFHE attached, the penetration on this ship is friggin' ridiculous. Now, general overview of the game. We've lost more ships, yes, but we are slowly, cornering this fleet, or this enemy fleet, I should say, into the back of the map. They've got no room to breathe now. We hold the majority of capture points, and while the enemy team, yes, do have the point lead at the moment, right now that's subject to change, because again, we've got them in the worst position, we've got more island cover for our fleet, and we've got those 2 capture points on play as well. Now, old mate player 3, aka the Conqueror, has also entered the battle here, and it's alright. Mr. Conqueror and Missouri are relatively in the same position, so we're just going to point our nose into both of them. And Old Mate Destroyer here, in the Benson, has decided, you know, I'm going to lay some smoke for you. I'm going to be a good guy. And in doing so, gives me a little bit more room to breathe as far as how I can angle myself, and sort of take a bit of an evaluation of the fight at hand. We're already up to 152,000 damage here, and we've still got 2 battleships that we're going to try and bully as best we can. Now, of course, with this higher gun caliber, you can't really sit and smoke and, you know, get a lot of concealment out of it. So we're going to have to make a push at some point here. Now, Conqueror knows what's up. He's obviously taken on a couple of Moskvas and knows that his only real chance now is to charge me. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to go penetrating my nose armor. He is a HE proficient ship, so he should be able to set a couple of fires on me. But, look, I'm now detected. It's time to get in there and just sort of stop lollygagging around. I don't want to start copping. The Conqueror, of all the battleships in the game, the Conqueror is probably the one that's going to cause the most amount of damage to me due to that high HE fire chance. Obviously, Mr. Missouri is pushing in now as well, in tandem with this Conqueror, knowing that he's not going to be able to take me on all by himself. Now, Conqueror is also now just become very, very keen on me. He's like, okay, I'm sick of this Moskva penetrating me all the time. Time to go deal some damage. Fires a full HE salvo at me. Now, obviously, I'd expect some fires, I expect some damage. That was only a 7k salvo. I've dealt more damage to him over this time frame, while being detected the majority of the time, than he's dealt with me in one salvo, and he's a battleship. It's just filthy what this ship can do and how it can negate the battleship meta. And like, as a battleship player myself, going against this thing is a bloody nightmare. Now, the Conqueror is getting close enough to the point where I could probably get away with firing some AP at him and it's going to work. Again, that Russian penetration, that Russian velocity is going to allow for even the battleships that are angling slightly to be really hurt by how powerful this AP is. Only scoring 1 penetration and 2 overpens, I'm able to score still 3k damage. Now, obviously, I'm getting a little bit concerned. I've got to pick between the lesser of two evils here, either a Conqueror or a Missouri. I don't want to give the Missouri a broadside because I know that he's really got the better dispersion, but he's also got himself, yeah, that more accurate gun caliber essentially. So I don't want to go ahead giving him any sort of broadside. I know he's going to be more likely to have any sort of AP loaded in the shells. He's already fired off his salvo, and I know he's seen better days. So I'm going to start turning in now. I'm going to start turning in towards Conqueror, because I've got a feeling Conqueror will, if not already, have started loading AP in the tube, so I want to make sure that I'm not going to cop a full broadside. Moskva is incredibly susceptible to a broadsiding hit, but again, this Conqueror, he's actually, much to my surprise, just given up on me entirely and decided not to even bother shooting me, because he knows that no matter what he does here to me, as long as I got my nose put in like so, he's dead, and that is what I call the bully of the century as far as this game is concerned. Again, these battleships couldn't touch me because I had my nose pointed in exactly the right time. We were able to negotiate which ships were the biggest threat to us, and increase our survivability as a result. You know, old mate Conqueror, I don't know why that Conqueror decided not to engage me earlier. He would have actually had me dead to rights if he decided to load AP and blast me while I was broadsiding him accordingly. But he didn't. I did get a bit lucky there, I will admit. But, yeah. This ship's just a bully. I was able to bully those two battleships into the back of the map. Missouri eventually got confidence enough to come and, say hello to me, but it wasn't enough time. And I was able to bully that Conqueror straight to the bottom of the ocean really quickly. No hassles whatsoever. It's looking pretty grim for the enemy team now. We've managed to gain the lead as far as ship counts are concerned. But something is run a little bit... One thing has sort of, sparked my interest now, the fact that I'm detected. I've got island cover between myself, the Yamato can't detect me, the majority of the ships, are on the other side of the island, so what's detecting me right now? What is causing that? At first, I'm not really going to bat two eyes about it, but then, eventually, I decide, you know what, it's radar time, and there's the cause, Mr. Akazuki, sitting off there in the distance. Now, if it wasn't for my radar, he would have survived this game, but... nah, fam, we're not going to do that. Get your ass back to the redeploy screen. And that, guys, wraps up the game. We earned ourselves a total of 3 kills here. 3 kills. About 200, and I think it was 21,000 damage that we scored at the end. Either that or 223. Like 220,000 damage. That's it right there, guys. So, yeah, 3 kills, 9 fires, 4 citadels, and a stupid amount of damage. Guys, that is what the Moskva is all about. Bullying enemy ships into a corner and just saying, hey, you can't do anything to me, I'm a Moskva. And that's what I love about this ship as someone who has been bullied to death by a lot of Moskvas in the past. So it's really refreshing to be on the giving instead of the receiving end of it, I will admit. Anyway, guys, that wraps up today's video in the Moskva. I did hope you guys enjoyed today's video and this little bully session on enemy battleships. If you did, then a backhanding of that like button would be greatly appreciated, guys. And say you find yourself enjoying the channel and backhanding the like button, then backhand that subscribe button whilst you're at it to keep up to date with all the things that I'm doing here on the internet. Join my Discord for more information on when I go live and when a new video goes live, and also just to find out when all the bullshittery happens there in the general discussion room, because some funny things can occur in there as well, guys, that I'm sure all of you will enjoy getting a part of. Once again, guys, do also feel free to follow me on Twitch, guys, to keep up to date with when I go live as well. Once again, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take care. Have a good one, guys.